What's up, everyone? Welcome to Gym Pilgrim, brought to you by Exalt Virtual Training, where we review the best gyms in North America. Today we're in Las Vegas at the Lift Factory. Let me give you a quick breakdown just so I'm not wasting your time. This gym is primarily for people who take it hardcore. As you can see, the only hardcore gym in Las Vegas. This is a true old school dungeon feel type gym. They got weights, dumbbells that go all the way up to 200. Good for both bodybuilders and powerlifters, but this place is hardcore. So if you like that kind of grungy, hardcore, lifting heavy weights, dropping heavy weights, this place is for you. Also, let me say, the community here is really good. I feel like sometimes those old school, those golden era, esque type places, they just have such a strong community. And I'd say Lift Factory does really well at keeping that really strong community. So let's go ahead and have a look inside. All right, so Ernie, first tell us about what got you into fitness initially.
I've always played sports growing up. One of my mom's famous sayings is, if you don't play sports, you're not gonna live under my roof.
Really?
No, she was serious. So I always played baseball, football, tried basketball. And then when I got to high school and started lifting weights is what really got me into the gym and weightlifting and that kind of lifestyle is sophomore year of high school. And that's when I started training with Nick and his dad. I kind of lived with him over the summer, actually, because Nick is a year behind me in school. So I was a sophomore, he was a freshman. I lived with him over that summer. We went to the gym every day and trained and got prepared for football and track and field for me.
Yeah, I know Nick, both his parents take their fitness real serious. I remember seeing both of them here all the time. So how old were you guys when you started the gym?
We were 28, 29.
And what made you be like, all right, we're doing this? Because you guys both have a firefighting background, correct?
Indeed. We both
still in it.
For 15 years for myself, I've been in the fire service, currently an engineer. So that's kind of always been the goal for me when I was growing up, was to get on the fire department. And so even in the fire department, there's still weight training and lifting and working out that has to go on to be able to perform that job. Right, and so it's kind of just went from high school, 2 years off, to getting right into the fire department, and just that fitness background has always been there for me. We were training at a commercial gym, and like I said, kept running into issues. I trained with, this is a good story, I trained with Mike Rashid at Metroflex in Long Beach. Okay. And I went there and was like, yo, this is the vibe.
Yeah.
I like this place.
Metro's got that hardcore, old school.
Yeah, this is the vibe. And so I came back and I was bugging Nick, like, dude, we need to open up our own gym. And the story goes, I was just joking. Mostly, I really wanted to, but I was like, we're not gonna be able to.
It was like a dream, but you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna actually take that serious. We're not really gonna
be able to do that. Yeah, it's like, dude, but I'm bugging him all the time. We need to open up our own gym. And then one day he was like, bro, let's just do it. Yeah. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, I can see Nick saying that.
Let's just do it, for sure. And so he was like, let's do it. And I was like, all right. And so I think I mentioned this earlier, we had a magazine with brand new workout equipment, and we were flipping through and was like, dude, this stuff's so expensive.
Yeah.
And so that's when we just, started on Craigslist, auction sites, traveling. We went to California 3 or 4 times, Utah, getting equipment everywhere. And so, that's kind of how this happened. I don't know if that was we might have got a little off track there.
No, no, that's perfect. And then tell me kind of what is the future of, what's your dream for the factory? Or are you already living it?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. We don't ask for much, man. This is definitely a dream. As long as people come here and enjoy this gym and enjoy the environment and get a good workout in, that's the dream for me, honestly. As long as we get enough members to keep the doors open, dude, we're happy.
And Lift Factory, what, is 7-8 years?
Yeah, it'll be 7 years this year.
7 years, yeah. And I feel like, a lot of you watching, you're kind of already familiar with Vegas being that hub for bodybuilding now. But honestly, 7 years ago, it was just you guys in the city. There was really no other bodybuilding gym.
Yeah.
That was back when Gold's Gym was still around for the most part. LVAC had a lot of members, but you guys were one of like the very first. Where it's like,
oh, definitely.
We're setting ourselves apart.
There wasn't, I remember I used to drive 30 minutes to Henderson because there was a gym, I can't remember the name of it, but they ended up closing down after like a year or two after they opened up. But it was like a hardcore style gym, and I drove all the way across town just so I could train there. And so that was the thing for me. Like there were no gyms like this, you know.
And I feel like that's not that uncommon in this community. It's like, you know, that's why we call ourselves Gym Pilgrim, because people willing to, you know, go the distance to find that place for them. So that's really cool that you guys. But I feel like you guys built a pretty loyal community within not too long of a time.
I would say it definitely happened a lot faster than we expected it to. It caught on real quick, and just like I said, even before we opened doors, before we had our grand opening, we had big names in here, and it just took off from there.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, tell us about the craziest story that's ever happened here in the factory.
So the craziest story, the one that comes right to mind is probably, I think it was the second Olympia that we were open. The Camel crew from Kuwait came through. Do you know from Oxygen Gym?
So I'm familiar with Oxygen.
So it was Big Ramy, Brandon Curry.
Was it Honey?
No, not with them. I don't think so. Maybe.
And then
his name wasn't as known.
Was Rolly with them?
Rolly was with them. So that whole crew, I think Brandon Diasha. Was with him.
A couple other smaller people I can't think of.
Dude, it was.
But I mean, those are huge names.
Dude, the gym was full of just like Olympia level bodybuilders, and I remember just walking around with my Instagram, just being like, dude, this is insane in our gym, and we were so new, and there were just so many just famous bodybuilders that it was beyond my wildest imagination.
Yeah, I remember those days. Like Olympia weekend was just
it was nuts,
Olympia
dude.
week. Like there were people like, you know, they were. What was crazy is this place was packed, and obviously like a lot of people here to like, you know, be around those bodybuilders. But there were just as many like bodybuilders, people about to step on stage, as there were people coming to check it out.
Exactly.
Like this place was packed, and in the heat of the one thing you gotta know about this gym: no AC. So
we have an AC.
They just don't run it. But this place is like shoulder to shoulder, like end of the summer, boiling hot in here, and you just got some big old like sweaty people in here, just honestly here wanting to sweat a little more by like getting after it, like you said. So man, those are cool memories. It almost feels like they were bringing back like old school days.
Definitely. You know? I mean, that's why we keep it warmer in here. So, because we'll get in trouble if we say we don't have an AC. We definitely do have an AC.
Yeah, they got an AC.
We runs, but even like at the commercial gym that I train at, they kept it at like 65 degrees.
No, I hate training.
I'm
like definitely
that,
not.
Man.
If anything, I feel like, you know, our community likes it a little bit more toasty.
Definitely.
Like I've been to this place called Kaijax. Hopefully we'll go there one day. Mutant on a Mission already covered them, but we'll try to cover them again. But I think their slogan is like, something chains, no AC. Like that's their slogan. So it's just one of these things. It's like almost, you know, like you want it.
Oh yeah.
So you don't want to be cold.
I used to wear 2 hoodies to the gym just so I could start breaking a sweat, and I still wear a hoodie in here when it's 100 degrees outside. I still train in a hoodie for my small workouts. Yeah, I like that. And I guess I would just want to say how much we appreciate you guys coming through and doing this whole interview and telling people about us. And every member that we have, all of our trainers and visitors and guests, anybody that's shown us love throughout the years, man, we greatly appreciate that.
Quick tell us about a couple of the amenities. I know Katrina's been here forever.
Absolutely.
As your physical or as your massage therapist. And in fact, I saw her on Instagram recently. She has a newbie.
She does, man.
If any of you are deep in the bodybuilding community, you may have seen the new fit newbie going around. I don't know exactly. It's not a TENS machine. It's like much stronger. It's a different type of current, but it's helping you activate the muscles. And so, I mean, like the top tier, they're using it just to get that little bit of extra muscle activation, getting that
extra edge.
mind to muscle connection dialed in even a little bit more. So she's got that. Oh, and let's take a quick look at the sweatshop real quick. I forgot to look at that.
About this place.
I mean, name drop. My father-in-law actually came in here. They helped and helped them build this area out. So I feel like this is kind of, you know, changed hands as far as what you wanted this area to be. Because even before, I mean, this was open. You kind of had this as your stretch area, but you know, it's always developed into something else. So what are you currently up to in here?
So this is pretty much our classroom, where its main use is we do a rookie school experience. And so we have people who are interested in getting on the fire department. They'll come in and they use this room kind of to do all their presentations. They'll use the bikes for cardio and the gym for working out, doing like firefighter activities. Andre owns a fire engine. He brings it around back. They pull hoses and stuff. So it's kind of, you know, throwing the industrial fitness aspect into the gym as well. And so obviously we use it as a classroom. And with the mirrors, a lot of people like to come in here to practice posing as well.
Yeah, another good area for posing. I see a few private yoga sessions going on here.
We've had Pilates classes, you said yoga, spin classes.
And make sure to follow the Lift Factory. Did you know? I think you guys are shadow banned.
I think so. Yeah. No, we are.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, I make sure you know that
trying to
when
figure
you're
out why that
yeah,
is.
I don't know. That's crazy. Like it's because you have hardcore in the name.
Probably. Yeah, maybe
If you guys are looking up on Instagram, make sure to type it out. One word, the Lift Factory.
And then you got to scroll all the way to the bottom.
I think if you have it letter for letter, I think
right,
it'll show
dude.
up. But they're on there. They post all kinds of stuff. They repost their members' content on there. They share workshops that they're going to be doing. Anything that's important and worth knowing.
Absolutely.
Real quick, you guys do day passes, correct?
Yes, day passes are $20.
$20. And then how does your membership structure work?
And so day passes are going to be 20, week passes are going to be 40, and then our base membership, our 12-month contract is going to be $49 a month. If you guys are interested in a month-to-month option, that's going to be $79 a month. And we do have kind of like a 2-for-1. We call it our couples, but you don't necessarily have to be a couple. 2 people can do the 12-month membership for $89 for the 12 months. So.
Yeah, nice, very nice. All right, and then real quick before we finish up, let's show us off some of the gear you guys got.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're actually expecting a new shipment of shirts that's coming in today, actually. But we do have powerlifting belts up there. We used to have wrist straps that were sold out. And then we got an array of shirts that have our logo, and on the back, I don't know, is it on the back of yours? Yeah, on the back, all of our shirts say I didn't come here
This
to talk.
one's old school.
That's
this is a classic. It's not like the super classic. I have some that are like 5, 6 years old.
All of our shirts say I didn't come here to talk on the back, and that's just kind of the vibe that we wanted to keep in here. Is if you want to talk, this is the place to do it. But once you go through that threshold, it's time to work. And so,
for sure. Appreciate you letting us come in.
Yeah.
Once again, you know, if you live here in town, come at least check this spot out. Find out if it's the right one for you. I know there's a lot of options here in Vegas, but this one's real cool, real classic, real old school. And obviously, if you're coming in from out of town, this is a hot spot you have to hit. This is a legendary gym, so make sure to take advantage of those day passes they have.
Biggest thing for us is that we like to be a hardcore gym. We like to remain a hardcore gym. Mostly for people who are dedicated to lifting and like to take their lifting seriously. And so that's kind of like the style and environment we like to keep around here.
Right. You'll obviously see in a second, they have a lot of like good powerlifting stuff. They've obviously got a lot of good bodybuilding stuff, like truly hardcore for a lot of different type of lifting crowds. So let's actually go ahead and jump right into the tour, and he's going to show us some of the stuff. Just a little bit about, is this the piece from Mike Tyson? Or do you guys still have any of those?
Yeah, we do actually. So this piece actually came from the Riviera Hotel and Casino.
Okay.
So when we first were even talking about opening up a gym, we looked at gym equipment and saw how expensive it was, so we knew we weren't going to be able to buy everything brand new. And then we started looking at auction sites, Craigslist to see what equipment we could find. And at the time, the Riviera Hotel and Casino was shutting down, and they sold everything inside. And so we went up to the gym that nobody knew about, and we bought a ton of pieces of equipment. Both of these are from the Riviera. Anything with the chrome plates you see is going to be from the Riviera. And so we kind of cleaned them out and got a lot of equipment there that we opened up this gym with.
Yeah. Just real quick, I mean, this was my first like hardcore gym. This is my first like bodybuilding gym. So, I mean, I've known Ernie for a long time. I know some of their stories. It's really cool knowing about their story and how they just like they had this dream. Obviously, like you said, like they didn't have all the capital in the world to, build the like an alpha league type gym. So they were like just making it happen with some of these smaller pieces. And I mean, they built a huge community. So like, let's keep looking at some of the stuff. So both these from Riviera.
Yeah, so we got it from Barry's boxing gym, and Barry actually got it from Mike Tyson, from one of the gyms he had in his house. So this is Mike Tyson's old equipment. Anything you see here with the gray plates like that is from from Mike Tyson's old gym. So,
That's so crazy.
Barry, shout out to Barry, man. He gave us a smoking deal on a ton of equipment just because he was looking to clean house and helped us fill up his gym. So, yeah, perfect. Okay.
I remember when you guys got Prime, was that like shortly after the shutdown that you guys got Prime, or was it before?
Yeah, I think it was shortly after the shutdown. Yeah, we started upgrading a little bit, and this was one of the pieces that I had to have. I actually first tried this piece out at Rob and Dana Lynn Bailey's gym in Montana.
Okay, nice.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is a good back piece for sure.
Yeah.
And then all the Prime equipment is top notch.
Yeah.
We kind of replaced some of the old school equipment with new equipment, and then added some new equipment where we could, where space would allow. But as far as the layout of the gym goes, you're gonna have most of all your back equipment is gonna be on this side right here. And so anything from low row, mid row, high row.
Yeah. And then right over here, you start to move into the push section, shoulders, chest, stuff like
Chest
that.
is gonna be on this side.
Okay. And you guys got some arsenal. I remember you guys were one of the first, like, as far as I remember. Obviously, I wasn't at all the gyms, but I feel like you guys were one of the first to start getting arsenal equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, not the very first, but we recognized that Arsenal had some nice pieces of equipment, so we wanted to move them in and let our members try them out. So yeah, it's been here for several years, definitely.
I guess what made you guys decide you wanted to be both bodybuilding and powerlifting?
So that's a unique story in itself. When we first opened up, we were mostly bodybuilding. We had very little powerlifting equipment, but as we started to grow, more powerlifters started to come into the gym and started kind of requesting equipment, deadlift bars, squat bars, calibrated plates, and so we ended up getting all of these things and kind of turning into a mix of powerlifting and bodybuilding with the platforms, the squat platforms, and everything.
And then you guys got some heavy duty stuff. Like, I mean, I'm no powerlifter, but I can look at this piece and be like, holy shit,
Those are official, yeah. Those are official.
And I know, like, once again, I just know the name Texas Strength Systems.
Exactly.
So I know you guys got some real good stuff here. It's no joke here. You're gonna have like all kinds of local people that are like taking it real serious here, rather than your big box gym, which we're not really for. That's the point of this channel, to get you out of those big box gyms and get you into a hardcore place like this. So let's a little bit about, I remember you guys getting these Nebula pieces in. So the Smith machine, probably it's like a decline press, right?
It's like just a chest press.
Just a regular chest press, and then there's one more.
There's a leg press.
Leg press in there. Okay. So what's kind of the story with that?
So we got those from City Athletic Club. When
Okay.
they shut down.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're always wanting to look at an opportunity and jump on it. And so we heard that City was going out of business, and they sold a lot of their equipment or all of their equipment. And so we looked for pieces that we needed and jumped on them. And so we got those 3 pieces, and they've been solid for it. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another thing that you're not going to get at a big box gym. They're not going to be constantly updating and upgrading their equipment as compared to, someone where you actually know the owner and they're here every day working out themselves,
Yes.
and they themselves, they want the good equipment too.
Exactly.
So not only are they thinking, the members are thinking of themselves. So, that's the type of gym we're always talking about. I also got a ton of different bars over here. You guys, you have one of the very first Kabuki Transformer bars. I remember that. You got all kinds of deadlifts, squat bars. You guys have Ollie bars?
Yeah. We have an Olympic bar as well. Women's and men's Olympic bars. Flat bars, safety bars, bamboo bars.
The
Barbells. That's one of the things we're kind of proud of, is having a large variety of equipment and barbells for whatever your specialty is, whatever you need. We got it, buffalo bars. So
And you even have some like strongman stuff that.
we do have some logs that are on the squat racks back there. We do have tires. Our strongman equipment has kind of faded, being that our membership isn't very strongman.
You have used the Kabuki Cadillac bar. That is one of the smoothest bars for a chest press. I like more of a neutral grip when I'm benching, and that's also has a curvature to it, so it's going to allow you to get lower on the chest and press. So absolutely love that piece. The almost the little temple in the temple of the leg room. So I remember when because they didn't used to have this space over here. It used to be a barber or something, yeah, and then they moved out, and then Lift Factory was like, we need to make this place bigger, so blew out a wall and put a whole leg room in there. So let's go ahead and take a look in there.
Well, we'll jump right into probably one of the more popular ones is going to be the booty builder. Glutes are a very popular thing to train these days, and so with that, we knew that this was one of the better pieces of equipment to train on. And so we had to get this in the gym. And then you mentioned the nebula leg press, and that's isolateral as well, which I really
love that. I love it. And even just like, it's a little heavy, so maybe not super beginner friendly, but I like to, move it isolaterally. And it's not like you have to go one at a time. You can go both at a time isolaterally to just make sure that, you're staying balanced. That's kind of my philosophy behind it.
I'm a big fan of that piece for sure.
And also, I like the plate-loaded booty builder much better than the cable one. The cable one just kind of feels funny. It doesn't move in like a way that you'd want it to. So definitely like this one. I feel like it's your guys. Yours and Nick's favorite.
Yeah, you can do so many movements on this. Not only belt squat, but you can do bent over rows here. You can also do kind of like a gauntlet squat.
I remember I was working out with Nick one time, and he was talking about like marching.
Yeah, you can march on there, and that's a really good leg workout as well. So pitch arc, very versatile piece of equipment. And then we go over here to the hack squat.
The hack squat from hell. Let's add Andy to it. Oh my, tell them about this hack squat.
So we actually got this hack squat from a gym in Beaver, Utah.
Beaver, Utah. If any of you are familiar with this area or with Utah in general, you'll know Beaver has like 1,000 people in the middle of nowhere.
Super small town.
So,
but again, I think it was off of Craigslist. We found a guy. He was selling some gym equipment. We went in there and got a few pieces. But this piece definitely stuck out. And one of my favorite things about this entire piece is that you can adjust the foot platform up and down to adjust that angle and adjust the depth of the machine. But also, this machine is pretty heavy with no weight on it.
Sure.
And so that's why you have the band on top. It's for people who can't quite handle the weight of this machine or want to get more reps, and the band up top will help you get out of the pocket.
And you can even see like the angle of this. A lot of hack squats, especially like cable ones or pin loaded, they're at a much more level incline. This one is so deep, it's sending you right into the fire. So
it's a good piece.
Good machine, and I mean it's been around forever, and it looks like the same the day you bought it. So
it's pretty bomber.
And then you got the big girl, bad girls.
Absolutely. So this is a piece. Actually, like every piece in here has a story essentially. But Nick's dad, Andre. When I first started lifting weights with him, back when I was 15 or 16, every leg day we would warm up on the treadmill and then we would jump into the abductor for a warm up on leg day. And I still do that a number of years later. I still warm up with the abductor. These are a piece that we had to have. These were around even before we had the leg room, so definitely.
So as far as I'm concerned, this is your newest piece, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so any of you that are familiar with Raw Motive Works, correct?
Indeed.
They're like a private welding company. Like they're not like this huge manufacturing company.
No.
They're making piece by piece, and they have been around less than 10 years, I bet.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how long, but they're relatively new and relatively small, but they make good stuff for sure.
Yeah. You're not gonna find. This is probably the only place here in town, at least I know, that they have a Raw Motive Works piece of equipment. So
this is another piece that's pretty heavy to start with. It doesn't have the weight on the other side, and so you're feeling the brunt of that weight immediately.
Right.
And so But we wanted to have a pendulum squat just because it was felt like a piece that we were missing in the gym, and some people requested it, and so we were looking around. And of course, space being tight in here, this was the piece that fit best.
Kind of a compact one, but I mean, it's compact yet. Like, look at the size of these pads. Like, look at that foot plate. Like,
Oh no, it's sturdy.
yeah,
it's
it may have a small footprint.
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah,
this thing is a beast.
It's built well, for
So,
sure. It's built well.
I've never even seen like type of cushions like that. I mean, this thing just looks cool in general.
Yeah.
What's this adjusted?
So you adjust the pad forward and back here.
Oh, I've never seen. Here. Oh, there. There we go. Okay, that's real cool. Okay, nice. I've never seen it like that. I can imagine that's like really good for, depending on your height.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you can adjust the depth that you go to down here.
Yep, right down here. Yep. Very cool. Very cool piece of equipment.
So we really wanted metal dumbbells. We didn't want rubber dumbbells. One thing we like to do in here is make some noise. We don't want people to be afraid to make noise or hesitant. If you hear somebody grunt or scream or yell in here, there's no wonk alarm that's gonna go off. There's nobody that's gonna say anything to you. Because I used to get in trouble at the commercial gym that I trained at before here for dropping weights when I was lifting kind of heavy. And I was like, I'm not gonna set this down lightly. Exactly. And so we kind of wanted to create an environment where people were okay with dropping weights, okay with grunting, and they're not going to feel like shame about it, But the dumbbells, we started the dumbbells up to 160. We're like, all right, that's good. And then somebody mentioned like, oh, we need them to 200 pounds. We're like, no, most people aren't even getting
You
close
want to bring
to
them
that.
in?
And so we said, all right, if somebody could bench press the 160s, we'll get some 200s. And I think it was Mark Lobliner came in here, and he like incline pressed the 160s.
Oh my incline, not even.
He's super strong. And we were like, all right, so we went out and we got some 200 pounds.
Look at these beasts. Look, that thing is massive. Even compared to the 160, I mean, like, look how my hand fits. Man, that is so wild.
There are some dense dumbbells for sure.
And I want to take you a little bit back to like, what you were saying about, being able to drop your weights, being able to get high. Man, I remember like training here, and you hit that set and you get done and you're feeling nasty.
Yeah.
And so like you want to celebrate, and so it's like at a place, once again, big box.
Yeah.
You can't do that there.
No.
And it's just, time and place for everyone and everything. So, but I mean, if you're wanting to step up your game, you've got to come to a place like this.
Yeah, you need an environment that's going to create champions like that you can push yourself and not be afraid of, I don't want to make too much noise, or I don't want to drop this weight or anything like that. That's the environment that I know I excel in, and other people as well.
Speaking of champions, let's appreciate this wall real quick.
Definitely.
So this has been here since day one, right?
The four, Jay
Four
Cutler,
Guardians.
Phil Heath, Ty Green, and Damian Bailey, those four are the original ones. And then we added all the rest that you see. Cedric McMillan, R.I.P. said, my God,
man, he was your guys' friend
man,
too.
Yeah, that was tough, dude.
Yeah.
That was tough. So he was one of the first big name bodybuilders to actually hit us up back when we first opened. This was actually before we opened the doors. He came in and got some massage work down here, and it was kind of like a private gym. And so he thoroughly enjoyed that. And dude, he was so humble, so cool. We were like, yo, we gotta put this guy on the wall. And so that's when we threw him up there. And then Dallas McCarver, also rest in peace.
Yeah, you got like the angels on the side.
Yeah, man, it's very sad. Back wall there, you'll see is all power lifters. And obviously that's where our powerlifting area is, and so we wanted to show them love. Got Ray Williams back there, Stephanie Cohen.
Got Dana and Rob Bailey here, pretty much since day one, right?
Yeah, they were coming in before we even opened doors.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So how did they hear about you guys?
I mean, it all started during Olympia. Honestly, Jay being in town kind of heard about us. I'm not sure how. Maybe through manager Matt. Shout out to manager Matt. He helped us out a lot. Then Jay came through, and I don't know, somehow word kind of got out, and we had a bunch of people come through before we opened that year and kind of used it as their like private gym, and then we ended up striking up a friendship with Rob and Dana. I've been out to Montana a few times to visit them, and anytime they're in Vegas, they come through. So
Yeah, they're real cool people.
Pretty much everybody we've met through bodybuilding that you would say has a big name or is famous or popular has been super cool, man. Yeah, super cool. It's been a real delight, dude. This gym has brought me some life-altering opportunities, once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, man. It's been insane.
And it's a real cool community. Just like you said, like I feel like there's this, perception that the bodybuilding community is like really intimidating, really aggressive. Like they're some of the nicest, chillest people. They're just here to, focus on their craft, just like anyone else. So, yeah.
It's intense, but it's not rude in any way.
Exactly. It's intense. Like they're pounding weights. The weights are their enemy, but like everyone else is like cool. And any up and comers, I feel like there's also this like idea, and I feel like it's that way in the fitness industry in general. It's like if someone's a little bit better than you, they're looking down on you. It's like no, like we all are trying to bring each other up. So it's much more fun that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of that, let's go ahead and look at the Wall of Fame out there.
So these, I honestly don't remember whose idea this was, mine or Nick's. But we had, like I said, a bunch of kind of famous people coming through. We're like, dude, we got to figure out some way to document this. And so we came up with printing pictures and having them sign them. And as you see up there, Rob, Dana, and Bailey, there's Jay, then you got Callum, and as you keep going, there's said a who's who in the bodybuilding
anyone
industry.
who's ever come through, you guys got something for them to sign.
Yeah, and it's kind of turned into whenever somebody who trains out of our gym becomes a pro, we throw them up on the wall as well. So
yeah, I was about to say, over here you got some, let's see if I can, definitely these people, the Mirandas.
Indeed, yeah.
My personal favorite, Sadiq had.
Sadiq. So it's a funny story about Sadiq, dude. I came in, it was one Olympia, I can't remember what year it was. And I came in just to open up the gym and get ready for people to come through. And he was already in here training, dude. And I was like,
I feel like one of his most popular, one of his most famous pictures is him posing right here.
Oh, dude,
before,
that's such an iconic
What is
picture.
it, like 2016, 2017
Something like
Olympia?
that. Yep,
He was right
yep.
here. I mean, I'm going to hit this pose like shit, but he was doing that pose right here in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think, I think Nick was like sitting right here in the background. So, yeah, real cool picture. I mean, we could take a look here in their locker room.
This is one of the more special places. Anytime you see a picture on Instagram, even if we're not tagged, you always know where this was taken. And so what we did in here was kind of put up a wall and had members and visitors and people just write kind of motivational quotes on the wall and things to really get you going. Because you start your workout in here, switching out your clothing, putting your stuff away, and it's always cool to take a quick peek and get some motivation to go in the gym and kill a workout.
Yeah, this one here, balance and consistency. That one's mine. I don't know how old this is, but it's funny, crazy that it's still up there. All right, so I'm here with my client Mena, and Mena's actually prepping for a show here in December. If you're interested in following along with her journey, it's really impressive. You can follow her at MENAZhang_official on Instagram. Right now, we're gonna be working on a very special piece. I'm sure some of you are already familiar with Prime. It used to be Strive, but what's so special about this piece of equipment is we can load it at different angles so that wherever we load it, so let's say we were loaded on the number 3, this would make it more difficult in the beginning part of the motion. Let's say we were put it right here, this would make it harder in the middle, and at the number 2, it would make it harder at the top, just based off, because if, we'll do a little physics lesson. This is called a fulcrum. Whatever point the weight is at, when it's parallel with gravity, that's where it's gonna be at its hardest. So it's a really special machine. You can do a whole lot with this. and work your muscle in very different ways. We're just gonna go in a normal position. Mena's gonna be doing wellness, so she doesn't need to get her chest too big, but we do wanna keep it strong. So let's go ahead and go through the motion. So with this one, since it's starting at the bottom, we're gonna get lined up with about the bottom of the chest right there. So she's lined up pretty perfect. Elbows are gonna stay right under the wrist, perfect. And then the motion is just gonna, the machine's just gonna take her through the rest of the motion. So go ahead. As you can see, this machine converges as well. So it allows you to really wrap around the rib cage, which is what the fibers of the chest wanna do. So let's actually go ahead and play with it for just a second. So I'm gonna load it at the bottom part, or we're gonna do 2 reps up here. So go ahead and do that, Mena, real quick. 2 reps with this. Good, yep. And so it's gonna be really hard at the bottom, but get pretty easy at the top as that weight starts to pretty much fall off. And now I'm gonna load it up at the bottom, and we'll see if she can feel that difference of it being hard, easy at the bottom and hard at the top now. Go ahead.
All right.
One more. Well, good contraction too. So did you feel that difference?
I did.
Versus
yes.
that first time, it's gonna be very hard out of the press, and then it gets easier. And you can build up a very good contraction. There's a lot of different things that we can do to condition our muscles and also grow them. So great tool to have in your arsenal. All right, now we are on the Nebula chest press. I actually prefer to use this one for a decline press. So today we're gonna just use a, I don't know if this is called a stability mat. I would actually prefer an ab mat. I just can't find one here right now, but what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put this behind her butt and lower back, and then Mena's going to push her shoulder blades back to the pad. So now she's gonna be at like an angle where she can hit the lower fibers of her chest. She's gonna go ahead and perform the movement for us, focusing on pressing with those lower fibers. So go ahead. Good, yes. Perfect. Keeping those elbows behind the wrist as we come up. We don't want those elbows flaring up or down. We want them staying right in that path. This machine is really cool because, as you can see, there's a lot of adjustability. If you want a more narrow grip, you just unscrew this, pull it out. She can move this around, bringing it out or in. We're gonna bring it back to middle. We can also adjust the back plate, so we could move that forward, back. Once again, we had it all the way back just to hit that decline, and then obviously the seat height. But really good machine. Nebula is just good in general. Tom Eilerman, I believe he's the inventor of Nebula. I see a lot of similar designs from Nebula on the new Arsenal equipment, so just some food for thought with that. All right, so this piece of equipment is really special. I'm sure most of you have functional trainers at your gym, but what makes this one so good is it has so much room for movement. So if I adjust, this can move anywhere in this space. And then if I adjust, excuse me, if you adjust this one, it can move anywhere in this space. So it pretty much has this quarter, well, between the two of them, it has a whole half sphere of movement where you can have all kinds of different beginning and end places. And they don't even have to be together. As you can see, I can lower this one down here, keep that one up here, maybe do some chops like that. You get what I'm saying. But so what I'm gonna have Mena do right now is I'm gonna have her do some cross tricep curls, which are nice on this machine compared to a regular functional trainer, because a functional trainer is gonna usually be about this width. And when you're pulling, it may not feel so comfortable. Whereas this one, we can make them a little bit more narrow to each other and grab on these. This is a really nice feature of these free motion, real big grips right here. And she's going to be cross extension, really hitting those triceps like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower the weight just a tad. I'm gonna have Mena perform that right now. Let me bring them down, crossing over, perfect, right here. Oh, there we go, perfect. Now keep those elbows by the side, and now just movement at the elbow, extending, perfect. Come up a little bit higher, or not that way, a little bit out. There you go, perfect, good. See how the cables, if we were to take the tricep and line them up, they'd be perfect with the cable. We just gotta keep right there, perfect. Perfect. How are those triceps feeling? Really nice. Good. Give me one more. Beautiful. Good. I'll take this one. There we go. Awesome. All right, so for our last exercise, we're gonna use an unnamed piece of equipment. That's how kind of grungy this place is, and I say that in the best way possible. It's got that old school feel where we don't even have names on some of the equipment here, but we know it works well. And so what we're gonna be doing is she's gonna be hitting the shoulders, that front side of the shoulders, and the motion she's going to be doing is we're gonna be keeping those elbows in front of us, once again, keeping the elbows stacked under the wrist, and she's just gonna be coming up and back, which is what's nice about this equipment. It's naturally going to have some leverage that's going to take the arms back. And so she's gonna be perfectly overhead at the end. So go ahead and perform a couple reps. Perfect, beautiful. We could probably bring her seat up just a tad, but I don't know if this one goes up. You could always put a little squat block under you or a yoga block, as long as you're still feeling sturdy. Good, and as you can see, she's pushing through the bones right here rather than on her wrist, putting a lot of pressure. See, that as a common mistake all the way. A nice clean motion on that machine. Just to finish off our workouts, we're actually gonna have some Bio Pro Zero by Global Formulas. As you can see, it's a sample pack. I just ran out, but lucky for me, I was actually at the Torture Gym grand opening, and the owner of Global Formulas himself was there, Jacob, and he was giving away some of these free packets, so really appreciative of that. If you're looking to get some Global Formula supplements, all their ingredients and all their formulations, just talking to Jacob, he knows his stuff. It's some deep science that they got going there. I'm a personal fan. What got me into the brand is their pre-workout, their Bio Super Freak OMG, craziest name ever, but it is good. It has some good ingredients. So if you're looking to get some Global Formulas, go to their website, use my code JimPilgrim10, and you can get 10% off. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us here at Lift Factory. As you can see, this place is as hard as it gets. If you are, I would say, moderate to advanced, I mean, it's got some beginner-friendly stuff for sure, but obviously this page is a little bit more for people trying to go to that intermediate level, really start taking things serious. They've got everything that you're looking for here. So if you're living in Vegas or if you're traveling to Vegas, Lift Factory is definitely a spot to stop at.